My thoughts on the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Direct that aired earlier today. It is the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game. Those are my thoughts. Oh wait, you wanted me to go more in depth? Yeah, I should probably do that too. That'd be cool. But hey, we're gonna start with the characters, which there are actually, I think, 5 new characters announced coming to the game, which is pretty cool. I expected after at E3 we got 2 or 3 new characters, and I was expecting like one more here. I didn't expect to get this many more, which is, I mean, that's cool. By the way, I really like the cinematics that they have for introducing all the new characters in Smash Ultimate. The cinematics look absolutely amazing. Um, yeah. So when I was watching this particular cinematic that you're seeing now, I wasn't sure. My mind was going all over the place through like games I hadn't really played before. Like maybe this is like Dark Souls or Monster Hunter or something. Then I saw the whip. I was like, oh yeah, Castlevania. I actually haven't played much of any Castlevania. But I've definitely watched a lot of Castlevania gameplay. I think it looks like a pretty fun game, and as soon as you see the whip, you know that's like it's like a Castlevania thing. Um, Anyways, we got Simon, who is one of the main characters in Castlevania, apparently. I don't actually know the names, but he looks really awesome. He's got his entire move set is based off his move set from Castlevania, which, I mean, you're going to say, well, obviously, in Smash Bros., a character's move set is always based off of their move set from the game. Not necessarily. Like, Mario doesn't punch in any Mario games, but that's part of his move set in Smash, so yeah. But I'm thinking Simon looks pretty sweet. I really like the whip attack. The range is really long, and I feel like I might play Simon in this game a little bit. I know that there are a lot of characters in this game, so I'm not gonna be able to play them all, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I'm probably gonna want to play Simon a little bit just because I want to try out that whip. It looks pretty awesome, and some people could get pretty good with that. Like Sakurai said in the direct, it's a little bit slow and it leaves you vulnerable. But if you master how to use it, like I said, the range is really long and it's absolutely awesome in that regard. He also has an Echo Fighter called Richter, which is another character from Castlevania, obviously. Same attack, slightly different attack animations. Still looks pretty cool. And other than just the whip attack, he also has this little fire. It's like holy fire or something like that, where he like throws it on the ground and it spurts up fire, and he kind of has a cross boomerang type thing. It's like I said, it all looks really cool, and it doesn't seem he doesn't seem overpowered. He seems pretty balanced out. Like his more powerful attacks are slower and things like that. But the long range of the whip is just what I think is totally awesome, which is why I really want to try out this character in the actual game. And yeah, also his final smash. He basically just there's a giant coffin that encompasses whichever characters happen to be standing wherever the coffin shows up, and he ties the coffin in a whip and throws crosses all over it. Like he must be a Jesus lover or something like that. Also, I probably should have mentioned earlier, but I didn't. If you haven't seen the direct yet, you may want to go ahead and watch that before watching my thoughts because I'm not going to elaborate all that much. A and B, you know, it's kind of you will kind of want to see this as it's happening in the direct and as I'm talking about it. But we got a new character that people have been asking for a very long time, and it's not Waluigi, but people have been begging for this forever. You can see who it is. That is just gold. I have to be honest. They completely trolled us there. Of course, King K. Rool is actually coming. They just wanted to mess with our minds a little bit, which I found absolutely hilarious. I was watching the direct live actually, and when King DD showed up, everyone in the live chat was like, "Okay, really?" And then of course, King K. Rool is actually here, which is it's cool. I mean, I actually haven't played Donkey Kong Country games all that much, or Donkey Kong games at all, really. So I don't really care about King K. Rool. But his moveset looks pretty cool, let's put it that way. He's got, like, boxing gloves. He's got, like, a pirate cannon. He can throw his cap like his hat. Hat? Is that a hat? No, that's like a freaking crown. He could throw his crown like a boomerang. Um, and then it didn't explicitly say, but I think his final smash may have been the giant laser cannon. But who actually has any idea because I don't. But I just love how they tried to mess with us there by putting King Dedede there. That was absolutely great. But anyways, King K. Rool looks like an all-right character. I'm excited because everyone else is excited. If you know what I'm saying, everyone else has been wanting King K. Rool to show up in Smash for the longest time, and so I'm just kind of riding that hype train while I don't really care about it myself. If you can kind of understand what I'm saying, but yeah. His moveset looks alright. I'm still more excited about the Castlevania characters than King K. Rool, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But, whatever. We also got some new Echo Fighters. The first one is Chrom. I don't know who this is. I assume it's from Fire Emblem. And there are too many trash Fire Emblem characters in Smash, alright? I honestly don't care about this at all. If you're a Fire Emblem fan, I'm not like bashing Fire Emblem as a series, but there are too many Fire Emblem characters in Smash, and they all act exactly the same. And this one's an Echo Fighter, so it definitely acts exactly the same. So, I don't have much to say other than not at all excited for this. I'm excited for the next one, though, which is Dark Samus. I'm usually a Samus main in Smash for 3DS and Smash for Wii U, so it's cool. There's another character that also uses Samus's moveset. I haven't played really any Metroid games. I've kind of played the first one because on the NES Classic, I haven't played any of the rest. So I don't really know what Dark Samus is, but it exists. And it looks pretty cool. I'll probably start using Dark Samus instead of actual Samus in this game because it looks a lot more kick butt than actual Samus does, even though it has the same moveset. So I'm pretty excited for that. Looks pretty cool. Although I really don't care about the Fire Emblem character. So yeah, sorry, it's just brutal honesty. The other kind of interesting thing is these are not the only characters that will be included in the final game. Well, they're not the only new ones in the final game. He said that we're planning to reveal all of the new characters before the game is released, so stay tuned for more information, which means that there are more new characters that haven't been announced yet, which I think is awesome because I'm really excited for the Inkling. I'm kind of excited for Ridley and the Simon. There's quite a lot of characters that have been already unveiled. I'm pretty excited for, but we're not quite done yet. Maybe Waluigi is coming in the end. Who actually knows? No one really knows. We don't really know. We just know that more characters are coming. This is not it, guys, which is crazy. That means there's probably going to be another Smash Direct at some point, or Smash is going to be talked about in some direct form or fashion at some point before the final release of the game. And there's going to be new characters, which is absolutely nuts, actually, if you think about it. But yeah, that's enough of characters. Let's move on to something else. Okay, so it wasn't obvious enough. We got to talk about the stages next. There are a lot of returning stages, he said, and kind of shows a few of the returning stages, but I'm not going to go into depth on that because we don't know for sure what exactly is returning or not. I want to talk about the new stages that were just revealed. First up, we got Pokemon Stadium, which is a Pokemon Stadium. I don't really know what to think about it. There isn't much being shown here. The stage seems to kind of morph and change form through different elements. I assume elements that are, types from the Pokemon series. And I don't know if special Pokemon appear here or not. I just don't know enough about it to give, definitive thoughts. Next new stage is the Garden of Hope from Pikmin. I assume they'll be getting rid of the other Pikmin stage if they do decide, or they obviously have decided to do this instead, because this looks very, very similar to the old Pikmin stage we used to have, so I feel like they're probably going to get rid of the old Pikmin stage if they're going to go with the Garden of Hope here. But yeah, not a lot of bridges or verticality like the other stage had. It's kind of more on the ground, which makes more sense because Pikmin's a game that mostly takes place onto the ground, and you can see you kind of have some Pikmin enemies that show up and kind of disrupt the flow of things on the stage, which is kind of cool. It's kind of how it should be. You got to get used to getting away from those hazards when they show up, and obviously you got it's really, really cool, the whole design of Pikmin, which is why I really, really like the Garden of Hope stage here, because you have the giant glass objects and shattering glass and breaking old stuff. I know I'm not talking very official terms here, but I just really like how Pikmin has done the setting that it's given. So I think the stage is going to be great aesthetically, and I think it'll play pretty well as well. Next, we've got the Rimstar Depth. I can't pronounce this, from Metroid, and I have no idea what exactly a Rimstar Death is. It appears to be some kind of underground boss fight with a lot of lava, a lot of stage hazards, and the stage is freaking rotating in this thing we see here. So this looks like one of those stages with like crazy stage hazards that you really got to watch out for, and it's one of those stages you pick if you want a really chaotic battle where skill doesn't really matter and you're just avoiding the stage hazards, which is not really my thing, so I'm not sure I like this all that much, but, whatever. Next up is the Summit from Ice Climbers. This is basically a stage on an iceberg, and it looks like the iceberg rolls down a hill, so you kind of got the slanted aspect going on there, and then it falls in the water, and you got the current that you've got to deal with, and there's also jumping fish that'll eat you if you get caught in the current. So yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on in that stage, and the Summit looks like one that I think will be pretty darn enjoyable when it comes out. I'm kind of excited for that one, actually. Then there is the Unova Pokemon League from Pokemon Black and White. Pokemon Black and White were actually my favorite Pokemon games that I have ever played. They're my absolute favorites, so it's awesome that we got a new stage from those games. I think Unova Pokemon League may have been in one of the games before, or something similar to it, but this looks like a relatively updated version. You've got the tilting. Tilting sideways seems to be a major aspect in a lot of these new stages. I guess that's a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate weird thing. All games seem to have weird things that they do over and over again. Apparently tilting stages is that here. But you've got Zekrom shows up here with Lightning Blast. I assume Reshiram will show up here with Fire Blast as well. Stage hazards. I think it's going to be pretty fun, and like I said, it's my favorite Pokemon game, so that's really exciting for me. Now we have something from something I don't really know. This stage has been in the game before, but it's been drastically updated for Smash Bros. Ultimate. Looks pretty aesthetically, but overall it's just weird, and I don't even know what game it's from, so bleh. I honestly don't know why Game & Wario is on the list of new games, or new stages, I mean, because this has been the game before, and I see no notable changes here, so I don't really know what's going on. Alright, they finally decided to be nice and show us what Final Destination is going to look like in this game. Looks pretty similar to the Wii U and 3DS version, except the graphical style is a little bit different here, but the idea is basically the same. There's no stage hazards, no high or low level platforms. It's just pure skill fighting on one platform, and it's kind of your basic Smash Bros. Stage, and so it doesn't need to have a fancy redesign every single game. Here is the most hype stage of the entire game, or at least for me anyway, and that is New Donk City Hall. This is a Super Mario Odyssey based stage, obviously, and the concept here is very similar to the, I believe it was Prism Tower in Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. That stage, you started on below the Prism Tower, and you rode on a platform up, and the platforms kind of changed a bit as you flew around the city of, I actually forgot what city it was in that game. That's how much I didn't really like X and Y. But anyways, this is a very similar concept. You start on the ground in front of the New Donk City Hall, and you ride up on a platform. The platforms change a little bit as you fly around New Donk City, and you're back on the ground. So, but again, that was my favorite stage from Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. So it's awesome that we've got basically the same concept going on here in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with New Donk City Hall. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a great, excellent, wonderful stage. And you've also got the band members and Pauline singing and playing. And yeah, it just looks like it's going to be amazing. This is going to be my favorite stage in the game, I can already tell. Also related to stages is this new weird feature called Stage Morph. There are a lot of really odd features in this game. Stage Morph, basically, you start on one stage, and after a certain amount of time, it transitions into a different stage, which is actually pretty cool. It kind of adds a whole new level to strategy if you think about it, and kind of chaos as well. I'm looking forward to using the Stage Morph a lot when I have friends over to try and mess with them, like they'll think it's one stage and it's just going to change to something else, and they're going to be like, what the heck? Seems like it's going to be one of those things that's pretty fun to screw around with, so I'm kind of excited for it, actually. I'm not going to talk about music a lot, but it's worth mentioning that there is a ton of music in this game. There are 900 different music tracks. I'm wondering how many hours you have to put into this game in order to hear all of the different music tracks. You can also play them all in the sound test menu. You can even create your own playlist with the music. In a fighting game, you can make a music playlist. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. And yeah, it looks pretty exciting in that regard. Next, we move into the menus a little bit. When you're first starting a match, you pick the rules first. That's its own menu that pops up first, which I think is awesome, because before it could be a little bit confusing to set the rules. It always just set to like a 3-minute time by default, and you had to know where to go to click and change the rules, and you had to know the rules were changeable. People who just played Smash like casually had no idea you could even change the rules, which is kind of an essential part of the game, in my opinion. So it's awesome that we can now, the rules is its own separate menu first. So we all know, like, we can pick the rules and we don't have to worry about going up and changing that. I know it's kind of good. You can also combine stock and time, which you may have been able to do before. I don't know. I never did that, but that's exciting too. And your most recently used or most used rules are right there for you to like quick select, so you can jump right in without having to set all the rules, which is really, really awesome. I like the way they've done the rules here, much better than trying to set the rules in Wii U and 3DS. Also interesting to note is that there's a stamina battle mode. So basically how that works is you have HP just like any other fighting game, and you have to KO your opponents by running them out of HP, which I think that'd be fun to kind of try out a little bit, but I feel like that's kind of ruins what makes Smash Smash. It's unique from other fighting games because you are racking up the damage and then trying to knock them off, as opposed to just run them out of health. So I feel like you're kind of ruining what makes the game special with the stamina mode, but I'll give it a try for sure. So stage selection is before character selection now, which I don't think that changes as much as people really think it does. It just doesn't really matter to me. But one cool feature is that you can choose for the loser. You can choose which players are going to choose the stage. So you can have it choose in order around, or have the loser choose, which I personally think I'm going to do have the loser choose. That's how we usually play games when I have a bunch of friends over. It's loser's pick on everything. So that's nice. That's actually defaultly included in the game here. That's absolutely awesome. And it's cool. There's also other methods for picking the stage other than player one always picks, which is kind of an obnoxious thing. So yeah, that's cool. So when you go into sudden death in Smash Ultimate, the screen will start zooming in, and you kind of got fire or some stuff like that on the edge of the screen, so it'll kill you if you go off the screen, which is awesome because I've been stuck in a lot of final death matches that'll go on for like 5 minutes where everyone's just evading each other's attacks, and it's kind of obnoxious, so this makes sure that it gets done quick and fast, which is sweet, sweet, sweet. Oh, and by the way, guys, crazily enough, just the other day I was thinking, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if there was a chargeable meter for the final Smash, because the Smash Ball is kind of a, crappy way to charge an attack, a super attack thingy in a fighting game. And I guess Nintendo listened to my mind, even though I didn't say anything out loud, because there's now a chargeable Final Smash meter, which is awesome. You can enable that. Totally having that enabled for every match from now on. Awesomeness in a nutshell. Now here's something I am crazily excited for, and it is Squad Strike. So if any of you have played Pokken Tournament, I played a lot at my friend's house because I don't have it, but he has it. And we always played the team battle mode where you take 3 different Pokemon into battle and you switch off with them as they get defeated, which is, this is a pretty similar style to that, which is absolutely awesome. It looks like it's going to be really fun. Forces you to use some different fighters rather than just the one you're comfortable with over and over and over again. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm really excited to use this mode in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. There's also an interesting tournament mode, which is an awesome mode for parties, I have to say, or when you have a lot of people. This game has a lot of great options for when you have a lot of different people in the same room, which is going to be pretty darn amazing. There's a lot of excitement in this game. Now here's another weirdly interesting but probably entertaining mode that I can't wait to try out, which is Smash Down, which is basically every time a certain character is used, it can't be used again. It's a great way to get you to keep using different characters instead of using the same characters over and over again, which I like modes that force you to use different characters, do things you're not exactly used to. Pretty awesome. Can't wait for this. There's also a updated training mode with a unique special stage that allows you to measure distance and trajectories and different things like that. If you're super competitive, this might be nice for figuring out exactly, the right things to do when, if you know what I mean. For training, of course, it's a training stage. But I prefer just to kind of figure everything out myself in the heat of the battle instead of, having the training mode. But, it kind of depends on your person, like, kind of how you like to play, I guess. Just not for me, but probably for some other people. Classic mode is the single player mode for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it's always good for a multiplayer game to still have a single player mode because you're not always going to have friends to actively be playing with, and it can get pretty boring to play against the computer over and over and over again. So it's good to have even if it is still playing against the computer, having some kind of single player mode or campaign type thing is pretty sweet. And the awesome thing about this is that there are different stages and fighters that you'll face off against. For every character in the game has its own unique set of stages and fighters for the single player. That is absolutely crazy. That is a ton of single player content. Imagine how long it's going to take you to beat the single player with every single character ever. That is going to be an absolutely nuts thing to pull off. I think it's going to be crazy. Awesome, lot of content. So much content in this game. It is great. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be well worth $60. There are so many new items, Pokemon, and assist trophies to go over here, but so I can't really talk about them all. So I'm going to take a few that I think are particularly special to me, that I'm most excited for, and talk about them. Death's Scythe is a weapon or a item that I find particularly intriguing. Basically, if someone has a very high level of damage, which it doesn't specify what counts as a high level of damage, but if it does, then you can just hit them with a scythe and instant KO, which is, I think, an interesting concept. Also, there's a staff that shoots laser beams, which I found particularly interesting because I've never really seen a staff shoot laser beams before, but it does more damage the farther away your opponent is, which is another kind of interesting concept. Just kind of shake it up a little bit. There's also a little mushroom that you hold in your mouth, and it makes the other player's controls reverse. And so, yeah, that's going to be horribly annoying for, whoever doesn't have that particular item. But for whoever does, that's going to be hilarious to see your friends helplessly trying to figure out how to control it backwards. Going to be interesting, I think. Now, this one I think might be my favorite. Is the Rage Blaster, not to be confused with the Range Blaster. Rage Blaster. The more damage you have racked up on yourself, the more damage the blaster does. So if you haven't taken much damage and you pick up the blaster, it's not going to do much of anything. But if you've taken a lot of damage and then you pick up this blaster and shoot someone with it, it'll knock them straight off the stage, which I think is hilariously awesome. The Alolan Executor is going to be an interesting addition to the game because it's a Pokemon that doesn't attack. It just sits there, and it blocks anything from getting past it. So it basically divides the arena into two separate sections, which I think is a pretty interesting concept, if you ask me. Abra is another interesting one because, of course, again, it doesn't just attack you for no apparent reason. It just walks up to you, teleports you to somewhere else completely inconvenient for you that'll probably end up with you dead, which is interesting. I kind of like seeing Pokemon and Pokemon and assist trophies that they don't just straight up attack you, they do something different, a little special, which is, that's the kind of stuff I like to see. Most of the assist trophies kind of just attack, but there are some interesting ones, like this guy just hops in a bus and runs everybody else off the stage, which is hilarious. Oh yeah, and then there's the chef that grabs you, cooks you in a stew, and spits you back out with a bunch of other crap, I don't really know. He apparently made a pie out of your soul, so that's kind of terrifying, but I mean, okay, I guess I'm rolling with it. I particularly enjoy Nikki, who just kind of pops up, draws stuff on her sketchpad, and that stuff actually shows up in-game, which is pretty cool and damages your opponents and things like that. It's that kind of unique stuff that it doesn't just attack. That's pretty cool because we have enough assist trophies to just attack. I also particularly enjoy the moon from whatever that Zelda game was. I actually can't remember the name of right now. But it kind of smashes into the stage and destroys everything. Hooray, moon. You kill stuff. Oh yeah, it's Majora's Mask. That's the game it's from. But yeah, that's a freaky moon. I don't know why they had to put that in Smash, but I still think it's hilariously great either way. Oh yeah, and then there's Bomberman, who just kind of runs around dropping bombs everywhere, just like tee hee, have some bombs, fun stuff, yay yay, woohoo. Yeah, I like that too. We also got to see the menu for the game, and I'm like usually someone who really likes like seeing UI and menus and things like that. I don't know why, it's kind of exciting to me. So you can see it kind of is all in a circle around the fighters sitting in the middle. You got Smash, which will be Smash, Games and More, which probably be like your trophies and then some other smaller game modes. The Vault, which I actually don't know what the heck that is. Online, pretty self-explanatory. But then in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see a green blurred out, which he says it is a brand new game mode that will be revealed at a further date, which is awesome. That means there is still stuff coming to this game. It is nowhere near done yet. There is still more stuff coming. We got new fighters coming that we already know about. There's a whole new mode coming, a mode significant enough for it to have its own tab on the very main menu screen. That's how significant it's going to be, which is absolutely awesome. I can't wait to see what it is. I'm really hoping for an updated Smash run. Maybe I'm the only one that wants that, but I really am. So anyways, I'm looking forward to seeing what the heck that is. And yeah. We also got a quick look at what is contained inside the Smash section of the menu. We have your typical Smash, which can be up to 8 players. It's not a separate 8-player Smash button anymore. There's the Squad Strike, Tournament, and Special Smash modes, which are 3 new kind of special modes, and they're right there with Smash, which is awesome. Some of the other modes, I guess, will be covered under Games and More. And then there's that one mode we don't really know anything about yet. And yeah, awesome. So yeah, that is that. Those are my thoughts on the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Direct. Not much else to say there. Be sure to leave a like if you want to see more of my thoughts on other stuff that happens news related, and be sure to comment down below your own thoughts on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'll be reading through and responding to all those as I usually do, and subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss anything. Bye bye.